What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the Canes Insight Daily podcast. Peter is in Dallas, Texas, but he had to jump on because the Miami Hurricanes basketball program has added a five-star talent in Miami Columbus forward Caleb Gaskins. Pete, this is your alma mater. There's two of your alma maters, right, with Miami and Columbus. Is a player we've known about since he was a freshman. I believe he's been a top 25 five-star player since he was a wee lad. So now he is officially a Miami Hurricane, choosing Miami over Florida and Texas A&M. How are we feeling?
Feeling great, man. I'm here in the car, just landed in Dallas about an hour ago, headed to the hotel. Now I'm here. I have a driver today. I have the very trustworthy Ariz Law PA taking us to the hotel here as I can get this live in, man. This is a big one. We've been pumped up with football all week, D. But basketball wise, this is what Jay Lucas was brought here to do. You have to land the local five-star type talents. Caleb Gaskins, number 16 player in the country on the composite. And this is a guy physically, it's funny because Travis Branham, who was doing the no, that's not my cousin. I am a Branham, but that's not my cousin. He was saying how this is a guy who early on was like almost physically he didn't say peak, but you could see the way he said is that caught their attention early on from a physical standpoint and like has continued that growth, right? So on top of him just being a physical specimen, a freak there, can really shoot the basketball. I was talking about this earlier this week. He, from the mid-range, deep mid-range to the three-point line, really good shooter. Talking to people around Columbus, they actually think that's the strongest part of his game right now, just like catch and shoot consistently. And different player than Shelton Henderson. Henderson's a guy who I think really can initiate offense. We were at practice the other day, and Henderson, and I'm comparing them because they were literally ranked like in the same range here and similar size and positions. But Henderson's more of a guy who have the ball in his hands and initiate offense. I think Gaskins, the upside he brings on both sides of the floor is tremendous, and we're seeing some of the clips here. Played on the best team in the country last year. He's going to be one of the guys leading the way this year. Jackson Richardson no longer at Columbus, so he's going to have to carry that torch somewhat. Obviously, the Boozer is no longer there. It's interesting. Cameron and Caden's mom was there, Cece, behind the announcement there, very close to the gas, and she was throwing up the U there in the announcement. So yeah, man, great pickup here for Jay Lucas. Andrew Moran. We can't do this live reaction without mentioning his role and involvement here. Obviously has been with Caleb at Columbus, and he mentioned the Night Riders program, the AAU program that he's been a part of, and Coach Moran was a big part of his development there as well. So it goes without saying his impact on this recruitment was big, and you understand Columbus is going to continue to have talent coming through, D. But awesome start to the class. And by the way, we teased football earlier in the week, right, that there was more coming. Talking to some people at Media Day the other day, some of the coaches said, be on alert. There's some more guys coming here. And you know that Coach Lucas is going to be, we say, football, big game hunting.
Yeah, obviously looking for guards there to potentially add to the class. But with Gaskins, I did the same thing as far as like you immediately kind of go to the comparison to Shelton Henderson as we work to get Pete back. You immediately go to the Shelton Henderson comparison because same size, just about similar positions, similar rankings. So you say, all right, well, how do these two compare?
Get off Pete this there. Exit.
Yep, we got you.
I've been here. I'm doing some GPS. Yeah, I'm doing.
All right, I'll let him do the GPS. We'll bring him back when he's ready. But yeah, man. So with Gaskins, comparing him to a Shelton Henderson, I think number one, the shooting. I think for Gaskins just looks smoother. You heard Pete talk about it. The natural stroke. He's more of a mid-range shooter right now than a three-point shooter, but someone who has the range to extend out to three. And as he keeps working, you could see him getting that three-point shot going. Also, defensively, I say both guys are pretty similar because they're big-bodied guys. Shelton Henderson was huge when we saw him in the open scrimmage here a couple days ago. But Gaskins, just with the natural just frame, you could see him getting to that stage where he is a plus size guy, strength guy at the forward position, playing the 4 and the 5. Sorry, the 4 and the 3. Maybe the 5. Who knows when you go small if you get strong enough. Then also, there you go, Pete. We got you back.
Yeah. I've been hearing the whole thing, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm
So just comparing, I think the shooting for sure, defense.
Yeah.
You know, I think Henderson maybe tighter handle, just more like a guard handle, and probably more of an above the rim finisher.
Sure.
And then Ben Gaskins with the shot. And look, if you can getting ahead of ourselves, so we haven't seen these two, but seeing Dante Allen and seeing Shelton Henderson up close, like we did a couple days ago, and all the stuff we've been hearing, just the physical size, the way they compete, the poise that they seem to show as young players, and just the overall skill set. You can get those guys for a second year, which I think is probably pretty likely, at least with Allen.
Yeah.
Then you get this guy coming in a year of development, ready to rock and roll. I mean, you're talking about some physical, versatile players that can cover above their position because of their strength, and that have, full skill sets and can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I said it this the other day, but Jay Lucas he doesn't really want one and dones. I'm sure if they would have landed Cam Boozer, and he was a one and done, if he would have. There's always exceptions, right? I'm not saying that he doesn't want to recruit at that level. And if Shelton Henderson has a tremendous year this year and kind of develops at a faster rate than what we maybe have expected, and I have very high expectations for him, just from the skill set point of view. Like, I think that the plan is for him to be here for a couple of years also. So you start to stack that. You got 6 miles, so I gotta keep a Rees Law PA, even though we're talking basketball, so that this episode is brought to you by Rees Law PA. Check out areeslawpa.com for your estate planning needs, wills, trusts. Plan your future so others don't. I'll tell you what, Jay Lucas is planning our hoops future, our roster's future beautifully right now. And D, we talked about it. I don't know which one of these guys they're going to land, but they've had about 4 of the top 10 point guards in the country on campus over the past couple months. The top 2 point guards in the country, and Dylan Mingo and Duron Rippey. Again, not sure how they feel about those two in particular, but Austin Goolsby, another one from Texas,
Yep.
I believe from the Houston area. So, and they're going to continue to recruit Texas and Florida very, very hard. So, things are. You don't like to just make the lazy comparisons of, hey, look at what football is doing and this is what basketball is doing, but you're going to be bigger, faster, stronger under Jay Lucas, the same way that Mario Cristobal is trying to do the same thing in football and has done, obviously. So.
I want to talk about the current team and then just kind of projecting forward, because we were at the scrimmage, so we were able to see those guys. I know you talked about it a bit,
and lots of media day content coming throughout the weekend and as we lead into the season opener on Monday.
Yeah, we'll do a full preview show as well at one point. But first, you see in the background, I could have gone with the Watsco Center, but I went to the building right next to it. That's a shout out, U Health, in the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute. If you are an athlete, just an active guy, you know what it is to get banged up, sit on the sidelines, maybe try to come back early, not quite 100%. But if that's not an option and you want peak performance, talk to the experts at University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, whether it's elite athletes like Caleb Gaskins is here coming in the future, Shelton Henderson, guys like that, or just everyday people wanting to play basketball on the weekends. You want to get elite results, talk to the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute and the experts there. Set an appointment today. Go ahead and request an appointment at uhealthsports.com. That is uhealthsports.com. All right, Pete. So we saw the current team, right? And you said it. And it's funny because football practice, I was saying it. Baseball practice, which they've been doing fall ball, I've been saying it. And then basketball, we knew it, but seeing it in person like we did a couple days ago, real up close, was quite a sight, this is a physically different team between the freshmen like Henderson, Dante Allen, some of the young players as well. It is a different looking ball club. Two centers, which is crazy. I mean, your boy looks just as tall as the centers, or maybe an inch shorter. I mean, there is a lot of. Last year we were talking about Lynn Kidd. Really, all he could do was score like a center and didn't give you the other center stuff. And then you didn't have a backup center. Yeah, you're relying on a 6'8" Kyrie Huey who was hurt. It's a whole different ballgame now.
And D, just the intensity level of the practice, we were at that. And I don't want to turn this into, as I always say, because I don't say any of this stuff to down anything that Coach L and his staff have done over the years.
Best staff we ever had.
The makeup of the team. yeah, I think it was just the makeup of the team. Like the guys you had on the team weren't dogs like what you got now. Like this team's gonna compete at a high level. We will see how the
Oh yeah,
floor that's
yeah,
I
there we go.
think gonna continue. Oh, sorry.
We got you back. We got you back.
Like I said, I think we're gonna see how pretty it looks offensively. But one thing you can tell, and we talked about with the sheer size across the board, but just like, man, that was an up and down practice. It was very physical. I mean, Shelton Henderson, a couple times, just seeing him take it to the rim and absorb contact and finish through it as a freshman, looking like a beast out there. Dante Allen, another one. So, yeah, I think that from the physical standpoint, Ernest Ude is going to bring you a nice presence defensively as a rebounder. His ability to run the floor. Sali Altuntaj, he's someone who we got an up close look at. He's got his body in the right shape right now, coming over from Turkey, and he's a big boy. As he told me the other day, he believes that him and Ernest Ude will be the good combination in conference, which I translated as best in a conference. You're going to be getting off on this next exit right here, by the way. So
I love it. Real quick, so on Henderson and Allen, the thing that kind of struck me with these guys, Pete, is we saw Jaleel Bethea last year in the same setting, right? The scrimmage before the season. Then we saw Lonnie Walker and Bruce Brown. I didn't see them in practice. I don't know if you had that access at the time, but I certainly saw them when the game started. Remember, Lonnie Walker was hurt. He was a little banged up. He kind of delayed his debut. I'm trying to think of other guys in this class of recruit that we signed over the years out of high school. But I cannot remember guys, and I'm talking about Henderson and Allen, that were that kind of locked in and just from a full-on skill set, because they had the size to handle contact, which Bethea, that was one of the weaknesses last year. That's the ball handling to kind of control the game, which again I think was sort of a weakness with both like a Lonnie Walker and Bethea
left here.
And really almost a Bruce Brown too, because he was a good ball handler, but he became a better ball handler over time. Like these guys really, they run the show at a young age, and then the size they have, and then the fact that they can do other, play defense. Like they're ready. They have stuff they can work on for sure. Certainly on the shooting side with Henderson, but man, they seem more ready to go at the ACC level than any freshman I can remember in a ball handling position.
Yeah, and look, I may be completely like misremembering here, and I know that they obviously played for good AAU players, but in terms of like Lonnie Walker and Bruce Brown, but I think there's something to be said, D. You talk about a Shelton Henderson who has played with the John Lucas III program for as long as he played for it, and there's a real skills development aspect to these top programs. I think same thing with Knight Riders and Caleb Gaskins and the Boozers, obviously already seeing what they're doing at Duke Straight here through the light. So I think the AAU game, we talked about it with 7-on-7 football the other day. I think like the receiver position and the corner position are getting helped by it. There's a real something to the fact that these guys can be not only the man, because Shelton Henderson has been the man, like these guys have been the guys, but their coaches are also giving them the keys at an early age left through the circle.
And you see it. They're getting the keys here. I mean, again, I don't know how it's going to look when it comes to the season. Certainly you have, Trey Donaldson is going to have his say. You got True, another experienced point guard. Although I don't know how much ball handling you're going to get out of him compared to some other guys we've had. But, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if these guys, in terms of like ball handling next year or this year, Monday, you'll say Donaldson number one, or at least in that conversation. I mean, would you agree probably 2-3 in terms of like a usage rate would be Henderson and Allen as it's shaping up now?
Yeah. So you know what, D? Hold on one second. I need to make sure that I think I made an early right for you. We gotta loop around. I'm sorry, or make a.
Yeah, Pete directing the show just like Shelton Henderson directs the show. Christian Bill says my dog Pete got himself a chauffeur. That's what they're saying. The work Discord paying for chauffeurs. Man, Pete,
Really. I
they're calling you big
apologize,
time in the
guys.
chat.
This is I don't have a chauffeur service. It is, again, this is a Rees Law PA. The driving services may cost a little bit more than the legal work, but I told him I had to get on this instant reaction here. So
I really am impressed though as to watch Gaskins. He's got some scoring to him. I don't know
he does
if he projects
that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I think there was kind of this thing about him out there that, and a lot of the reports I read, everyone was just talking about his upside, his length, his athletic ability. But then I talked to the people at Columbus and like, no, this guy can shoot the heck out of the ball. And I think more now in this role that he's going to be. Remember, Columbus, the Boozers, this is it. The Boozers are the guys, right? You not only had Cameron Boozer, who was the #1 player in the country, but you had Caden Boozer, who was a point guard himself, right? So he wasn't running the show, and that's what I talk when I say run the show. That's really what I mean, man. And I think that Gaskins is a guy that now his game's gonna take the next step. I'm pulling up at the hotel here. I'm gonna have to hop off. I gave you guys what I could here. I'm very excited for this weekend here in Dallas, and go Canes.
Go Canes, baby. Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow here. But yeah, it's an exciting commitment, man. And I don't want to use this comparison lightly. Certainly he's ranked higher, but if you just want to talk about like a Kane comp in terms of where I think this could go, and maybe I'm being too narrow with just the Canes comps, but I like to compare it to guys we've had. A Jordan Miller for Gaskins as far as as he continues to develop, just because Jordan Miller is a phenomenal passer. I mean, we'll see if he can pass at that level. That was a developmental thing. Jordan Miller was not a 5-star recruit or anything like that. Wasn't even a 5-star transfer coming out of George Mason. But just the size, the versatility, the ability to play multiple positions on defense and really, really cause different issues with the ball. I think he is somebody who, from a Miami standpoint, if it develops the right way, I can see him being like that. Oh, he's bigger. He's stronger than a Jordan Miller at the same age. Certainly a higher ranked player. So it'll be fun to watch. Brandon asking, how's the weather in New York? I'm actually back here in the free state of Florida, feeling good. Blue skies. The weathers were gray when I left. They're bright blue when I pulled up, man. So I could not be happier to be in the free state of Florida. One of the best parts about being in Florida or being in Miami, Columbus, where Caleb Gaskins goes to school, because he's right near the original location of Islas Canarias Cuban Express, right there. I mean, all over. You got there right there in Tamiami, the original spot, but the central location, the Dayland Mall Dining Pavilion, 7 different types of croquetas, tostones, loaded fries, every different kind of sandwich you can believe, steak sandwich, sloppy Jose, a little sloppy Joe variation, pan con lechon for the pig lovers, anything you want, man. Cuban bread, of course, with the butter. Everything you need, they got it here. The burritos are good for the grab and go options. The bakery is fully loaded with all different types of empanadas, pastries, little tequeños, the cheesy, delicious Venezuelan flavor to add some variety to this Cuban menu. They got bowls if you don't want to have, the bread. You got that option, which those will fill you up. Those are huge. The desserts, flan, tres leches, natilla, my favorite, colada for some Cuban coffee, jolt. And, Moran is drinking some of this stuff after landing this commit. I promise you, he's fired up. Islas Canarias Cuban Express, the best Cuban restaurant on the planet. Phil's asking, what was I doing in New York? Just working, man. Working my lawyer job. I'm like I like to consider myself the Travis Hunter of, 40-year-old unathletic middle-aged losers, lawyer and professional message board poster. So yeah, I was doing the lawyer part of my job. But yeah, Ben saying Pete's spending that money from New York. Pete's having fun. A lot of Canes Inside crew in Dallas. Of course, a lot of users out there. You have Mike Ryan. You have Pete. They're out there. I'll be here. Tyler's asking I'll be in Dallas. Nope, I'll be here in the MIA. Got a big weekend of Miami Beach Bulldogs baseball, plus a lot of shows to record. So I'll be holding down the home front. Looks like a great time out there. Been watching SMU quite a bit, and certainly it's a team that has that system, which we know was going to scheme guys wide open. I don't think it's as fast offensively as it's been in the past. Chris Johnson's a guy that can take it to the house if he gets daylight, but just the overall twitch and quickness, I don't see it necessarily really on the team as a whole, but certainly on offense. Defensively is where I think the strength of this team is. They got some big defensive linemen, number 4, number 9, bigger guys, kind of more in the Elijah Roberts mold, that they're end/tackles. They got size to them, and they've been very, very productive. The team, they're top 3 in takeaways in the country, right there with Louisville. So these guys can get the ball back. Certainly did that against Wake Forest and against Clemson as well. Just run stuffing defense. They've been extremely successful with that aspect. Did a good job with DeMont Claiborne and Wake Forest last week. Really completely shut down Clemson. Is one of the best run defensive performances of the season in the ACC against Clemson. Held them to like 38 yards on 36 carries or something like that. Dominant. So that's where they're going to be. Their red zone defense is good, very similar to Louisville on defense, and Louisville's defense was better than we thought. So we'll talk about the game tomorrow, Saturday morning. You know the drill, but those guys can take the ball away, they can stop the run, and they can stifle you in the red zone. So a tough matchup for a team like us that wants to control the ball, control the running game, and convert red zone possessions into touchdowns, which we've done a good job of over the years. So interesting matchup to check out, but. Canes basketball, first things first, is celebrating tonight with a huge, kind of a must-get, given the ties between Andrew Moran, former Columbus coach, Caleb Gaskins, the many multi-year 5-star player. He's been a 5-star player since he could walk at Miami Columbus. This was one Miami had to get. Florida made a run, Texas A&M made a run, and Miami was ultimately able to get that one done. So, yeah, man, I'm fired up. And I can tell you, I don't know who on the staff participates, but I know a lot of Miami Hurricane Hoops fans are going to be pulling up those Caleb Gaskins highlights, maybe cracking open a can of BUZZN. I got a lot of people sending me pictures of them drinking BUZZN, so that I know it's catching on here in South Florida and across the country. As drink BUZZN BUZZN. First order, get first 50. Promo code first 50 for 50% off. This is 7.5 milligrams of real THC, all hang, no hangover, all bubbles, no troubles. You know the drill. You can get it at drinkbuzzn, or at the various Big Daddy liquor stores across South Florida. That's BUZZN, BUZZN. All right, a lot of folks on. Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. If any more good news pops, we'll be on, man. So again, appreciate everybody joining us. Go Canes.